Dark web marketplaces rely heavily on trust and reputation systems because buyers and sellers are anonymous and transactions unregulated. In this environment, a vendor's reputation, typically a history of customer feedback or ratings, serves as a self-enforcing guarantee that transactions will be completed as promised. Almost all major darknet markets implement user review or trust rating systems so that customers can identify honest and reliable vendors. Academic studies confirm that reputation in these markets is extremely valuable. A positive rating is linked to higher sales and even premium pricing. In fact, one analysis of Alphabet showed that a good reputation leads to higher sales and premium prices. But it's difficult to build and is easy to lose. In other words, trust is currency on the dark web. It deters fraud and encourages repeat business, but building it legitimately requires time, large volume, and escrowing payments. Trust signals on darknet markets include buyer feedback, reviews, star ratings, profile age, sales volume, and use of escrow or verified profiles. Escrow services, where a third party holds funds until goods are confirmed, are common, costly signals that discourage fraud. Academic work finds that these are costly signals, including positive reputation, seniority, and escrow use, correlate with less fraud. Whereas cheap signals, like elaborate product descriptions or flashy marketing language, are easier for fraudsters to manipulate. In practice, vendors build credibility by providing free samples, fast shipping, detailed PGP keys, and dispute assistance, all visible cues that they are legitimate. Reputation thus creates a kind of spontaneous order. Silk Road era data showed that seller feedback can act as a sufficient self-enforcement mechanism in drug markets. However, this trust system is fragile because it can be faked or gamed. So how do these reputation kits operate? Reputation kits are not openly advertised in academic literature, but the term suggests packaged services or methods for buying or inflating trust on a legal market. In effect, they use multiple tactics to make a vendor appear more reputable than reality. Some of these techniques include multiple linked vendor accounts, or CBIL attacks. A criminal may create several vendor identities across one or more markets, all controlled by the same person. These accounts can give each other positive feedback or create the appearance of independent reviews. As one data mining study observes, CBILs are accounts controlled by the same person to manipulate reputation and online reviewing systems. In practice, a vendor might register a series of shops under similar names and cross-write reviews or bundle sales to simulate legitimacy. Fake or automated reviews. Vendors can post counterfeit positive feedback to boost ratings. This might be done manually or with bots or scripts. Researchers note that on some dark markets, comments and reviews can potentially be faked and generated by bots. In other words, a vendor can purchase or script hundreds of glowing reviews, mirroring tactics seen on clear site webs like Amazon. These phony reviews distort the signal of trust, making it hard for buyers to distinguish genuine satisfaction from paid endorsements. Credential and account sharing. In some criminal communities, trusted vendor accounts or their credentials are bought and sold. For example, Radware Intelligence found that threat actors were freely sharing leaked credentials to boost seller reputations on underground forums. By transferring login rights, a vendor can acquire the transaction history and feedback of a prior account. Some forums like this to a marketing agency model in e-commerce, where groups coordinate on Telegram and WhatsApp to post fake reviews. Likewise, some markets demand a deposit or a license, essentially buying into the trust system. Purchasing a vendor license or depositing cryptocurrency on a market is effectively paying for initial credibility. Referral networks and endorsement. A new vendor may pay or owe referral credits to established sellers so that the veteran vouches for the newcomer. Some markets explicitly require proof of reputation from another market before granting seller status. In practice, darknet communities sometimes circulate lists of #trusted resellers or a collateral to simulate cross-market trust. This referral system is another element of a reputation kit. Rather than build trust organically, a vendor leverages association with a known party. Together, these elements form a kit for reputation building: multiple accounts, purchased endorsements, staged escrow payments, and scripted reviews. This integration is usually opaque to buyers, but the result is a vendor profile that appears time-tested and reliable. Notably, these tactics exploit exactly the signals that legitimize vendors. Buyers see high ratings, profiles with long histories, and escrow-enabled sales, and assume trustworthiness. In reality, that trust has been artificially constructed. So why do cybercrimes invest in such schemes? The incentive is clear: trust begets profit. Vendors with strong feedback histories can command higher prices and sell more volume. As the PLOS study notes, a good reputation is a deterrent to fraudsters and allows sellers to charge more. In an illegal market, the premium paid for a trusted dealer can be substantial. Buyers are often willing to pay extra to avoid scams or bad batches. Conversely, a negative reputation can destroy a vendor's business overnight. Thus, the benefits of a high rating are large, while the costs of obtaining it illegally can be comparatively small. This dynamic creates a mini economy for reputation itself. Criminals may offer reputation boosting as a service. For example, one might sell a vendor account with 100 plus positive reviews, or promise a week of automated escrow trades to generate feedback. While concrete ads for such services are exclusive, underground intelligence suggests their existence. Analogue practices are common in mainstream e-commerce. Marketing networks exist to flood listings with 5-star reviews in exchange for money or free goods. On the dark web, similar schemes likely operate. Indeed, Redware's analysis of hacker forums found that 44% of threat actors were sharing compromised accounts simply to boost seller reputations. In practical terms, reputation-boosting vendors might function like any other criminal service. One can imagine a vendor starter pack that includes a fresh Tor hidden identity, a small stash of cryptocurrency escrowed on the market, and a suite of fake positive reviews ready to post. Buyers of such services get a jump start. Instead of struggling to accumulate honest reviews, a new seller can hit the ground with a facade of credibility. The seller then profits by exploiting this increased buyer trust. Ultimately, the business model is to monetize the intangible asset of trust. Sellers with tarnished or no reputation pay criminals, directly or indirectly, to build a veneer of legitimacy. In return, these reputation kits drive sales that would otherwise not occur, making them a valuable commodity in the underground economy. As researchers have observed, because reputation is costly to build and easy to lose, it is a high-value signal. Criminals stand to gain by faking it cheaply. Direct public evidence of reputation kits is used in scares, but we can infer their effect from available incidents and studies. One law enforcement press release illustrates how seriously some vendors take multi-market presence. Investigators described a narcotics vendor who created vendor marketing sites on dark web marketplaces such as Silk Road, Alphabet, Hansa and others by spreading into multiple markets. This offender was diversifying his reputation and access. While not explicitly a kit, this strategy achieves a similar end. A vendor becomes associated with multiple platforms, enhancing perceived legitimacy. On the buyer side, instances of exaggerated trust are visible. A motherboard/Vice report noted that one drug dealer on Alphabet amassed roughly 800 positive feedback messages in a single year. The report implies that only a high volume or highly industrious vendor could generate that many reviews so fast. Whether through genuine sales or through kit tactics, such numbers underline how central reputation is. In short, there are no well-documented public case studies of criminals openly selling reputation kits. However, the combination of insider reports and research strongly suggests such tactics are persuasive. The available evidence, including large feedback counts, account sharing patterns, and credit for review schemes, is consistent with a hidden economy of reputation services, even if direct citations for a kit are absent in literature. Scholars have increasingly examined how trust and reputation function in crypto markets. One line of work confirms that reputation enables cooperation in illegal markets. For example, Hardy and Norgard in 2016 analysed Silk Road data and concluded that seller reputation acts as a self-enforcing mechanism, providing the spontaneous order necessary for transactions when no legal enforcement exists. In other words, good reviews effectively substitute for formal guarantees. Similarly, sociological studies find that reputation promotes cooperation and can even substitute for law in sustaining these underground economies. More recent data-driven studies have found on fraud. The open access to PLOS1 found that looked into Alphabet's massive dataset. They showed that fraudulent behaviour drops sharply as trust factors rise. In particular, sellers with strong reputations, long tenure, and escrow usage incurred far fewer buyer-reported scams. Conversely, listings that relied on cheap talk had more fraud. These findings align with signalling theory, costly signals that can reputation deter scammers, where easy-to-fake signals can fool buyers. Other empirical work used Hansa marketplace data to similar finds, finding that buyers gravitate towards established, well-reviewed dealers and that scams are less common among them. The consensus is clear: reputation systems matter deeply. Markets without them struggle with trust, whereas those with robust feedback see more stable trading. Unfortunately, this also means that any manipulation of reputation has big consequences. The manipulation of reputation systems poses a twofold challenge. For law enforcement, misleading feedback complicitates investigations. Undercover operations that rely on reputation become harder if reviews are faked. Ironically, however, analysts have proposed using the same tools against criminals. One study suggested that police could intentionally purchase from vendors and leave negative feedback to undermine their reputation. By always giving bad reviews for high-quality sellers, law enforcement could destroy the signal value of the feedback system. Indeed, one analyst quipped that trust systems are Carter's catch-22. The very same systems that protect them from peers actually expose them to law enforcement. Beyond tactical ploys, reputation kits have broader implications for cybersecurity and digital trust. They blur the line between genuine and fraudulent commerce online. Buyers who learn of rampant fake reviews may lose confidence even in more legitimate parts of the internet. Within cybercriminal communities, fake reputation networks underscore the arms race between scam artists and those trying to fight them. Some security firms caution that organisations monitoring the dark web must account for false identities and inflated trust scores when assessing threats. For defenders, the existence of reputation kits means that tracking criminals by their feedback patterns can be deceptive. Techniques like de-anonymization often rely on linking activity across markets. A reputation kit can mask those links by deliberately feigning independence of accounts. In turn, law enforcement agencies have begun to develop sophisticated linking algorithms to detect when multiple vendor profiles are actually the same person. Overall, fake reputations add a layer of noise and complexity to the dark market, making intelligence gathering more difficult. Finally, manipulating reputation systems raises ethical and legal questions. From the criminal side, selling or using fake trust is inherently deceitful, but enforcement is difficult since markets themselves are illegal and self-regulated. There is no neutral arbiter of market rules, so any deal happens off the public record and is hard to police. On the other hand, law enforcement acting to poison reputation may run into concerns about entrapment or legality. While investigators generally have leeway to use undercover methods, creating false identities and information in a digital space is a grey area. Some analysts note the irony of trying to regulate an unethical scheme using similar deceptive tactics. The Vice piece on fake reviews describes debate around whether agencies like the UK's NCA should confirm or deny such methods. Police do not officially comment on whether they can create fake profiles, and doing so could blur the lines between legitimate sting operations and spreading misinformation. Moreover, if a non-law enforcement researcher tried something similar, say to test a vulnerability, they might violate computer misuse laws even though the targets are criminals. In the broader digital trust context, reputation kits illustrate how any review-based system can be corrupted. The practices uncovered on the dark market are mirrored in mainstream e-commerce, causing platforms like Amazon and TripAdvisor to constantly refine their anti-fraud measures. Ethically, the normalisation of buying trust undermines faith in online feedback overall. Customers and security professionals may grow cynical, wondering if any number of positive reviews can truly be trusted. In summary, reputation kits exploit the very heart of the dark web e-commerce, the informal trust of the crowd. They demonstrate how quickly that trust can be distorted for profit. Combating them will require a combination of vigilant marketplace designs, smarter technical analysis, and maybe even unconventional law enforcement tactics. At the least, their existence is a reminder that online reputations can be bought and sold, whether in illegal markets or not, with wide-ranging consequences for digital trust. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I really appreciate if you could subscribe. I'm trying to reach 50 subscribers before the end of the year, and anything would be appreciated. Thank you for watching, and if there's any other topics that you want me to cover, comment them down below and I'll make a video about them. Thank you for watching.